Pickaxe.
5, 4, 3, 2, live from Fort Myers, Michelle.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 901 of the Video Game Outsiders podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Michelle Madison.
And I, of course, am your John Jacobson. And joining us, we have a longtime listener, Steve, also a retail store manager with poop experience. Is that true, Steve?
We've got a lot of people
That
who
is
clean up shit.
absolutely correct. I have poop experience.
And you've been with us since the Kyle days, so you're a longtime listener.
People
you want to try out for the guest slot, and people are curious
people
about
pooping in stores. I mean, this is like a real thing. This is an epidemic. Like,
Look, it happened enough to where I can talk about it.
okay,
So
more than once, one time.
I like how we're opening up our
happened-
video game show about wiping poop.
Now, is this like an urgency thing or just like a class list thing?
it was a homeless thing both times.
Okay.
And
Unhoused,
we took
please.
away a public restroom. Mm-hmm.
Oh,
And
you took it away.
well, I had a guy light it on fire and almost kill himself.
Oh my.
So yeah, we took it away, and so we had one guy come in one night and just basically pulled his pants down and did his business in the store.
Right.
And the other guy, he was sitting down out front and sitting there and stood up and walked away and left a mountain for me to clean up.
Oh my.
Wow. And
It was pretty gross.
was he a
terrible out
healthy eater,
there.
you think, or what do you?
Oh, he was healthy.
Yeah.
Now, did
Good.
you ask
Yeah, it
what
was-
kind of console he likes? Because I have a theory it's the Xbox people who shit more. Because in Kevin's store, it was an Xbox guy. What do you think?
Get out of
Look,
here. That's not true.
I don't
How
think
dare you?
think he had a console.
Okay.
But I would
Maybe
probably say he was going to be an Xbox guy pooping
All
on
right,
the floor
yeah.
too.
I think the Xbox people are pooping. Although tonight they're
Don't- you-
pooping.
how
they're
dare
pooping
you?
happy trails because
No,
it's Phil
now
night.
listen.
We got a shadow drop of Oblivion.
Yeah,
Phil did it
you're
again.
gonna, you're
We're
gonna
do a
say
round
that
table.
Phil is breeding.
No, I'm
pooping,
going to give
pooping
Phil some credit tonight. I think, look, John, I've been saying this for a while, and it looks like today on the internet, Xbox is cooler than Nintendo, because I'm seeing a lot of people shitting on Nintendo out there and giving Xbox some love, saying
No
that,
way.
Yeah, they're saying it,
You're
John.
wrong.
They're giving
Listen,
Phil credit out
just-
there today.
just-
They're saying
okay, first
there's
of all,
Claire Obscure,
I-
there's Doom, there's this game, and Game Pass is heating up right now, and there's some good deals. They dropped the Oblivion
I've been
remaster.
telling you this. Sony's done nothing for us. Nothing.
okay.
We've been
And
abandoned.
people are shitting
We've
on
been
Nintendo,
abandoned.
so I'm saying
Guess
Xbox
what?
is cooler than Nintendo right now
You know
today
what,
on the
Michelle's going
internet.
on?
What's going on?
Phil's games look
Yeah.
the best on the PlayStation console, as far as consoles go, on the PS5 Pro, right?
Well,
You ever think about that?
I mean, Phil's making a lot of money today on Steam. There were already 160,000 concurrent players like early in the day. So
Right.
it's selling on Steam. It's selling on PlayStation. Yeah, it is on Xbox Game Pass. So we're going to talk about the Oblivion remaster that sort of shadow dropped today, even though we kind of knew it. We didn't know the release date.
No, you
but
tried it.
I didn't say anything. I said all
John
this is an
Stradamus
announcement.
said it was a shadow drop, and you're like, no,
John, you're on
it's
Inside
coming
Baseball.
out.
Nobody knows what you're talking
Yes.
about. All I did was say Ted said it's not a release date. Like, this
Yeah.
is this is exactly what I'm talking
No.
about, Steve. Don't listen to this guy. He's bringing an Inside Baseball and
What are you
inside
talking
jokes
about?
from a subs podcast in Discord that has nothing to do with what we're talking about.
John
So we're gonna
Stradamus
talk
was
about
correct again
John
that it was a shadow
Stradamus was a
drop.
fucking moron. I've been saying shadow drop too. Calm down.
You did not. You did
I
not
did.
say no.
Yes,
no,
I did.
was saying
John,
shadow drop,
no,
and then you
I did.
interjected
Okay.
with, "Well, reports are to June."
No, I said
That's-
Ted in our Discord said June. I didn't
Yeah.
say reports, John. It was
Yeah.
one passing comment once again. Inside Baseball.
Well, anyway, the point
which
is this.
not
The
what people
point
want to hear in the first 3
is-
minutes of a fucking
yes,
video
it
game
is.
podcast. We go
Yes,
from talking about
they
shit
want
to
to hear
John
video game
shitting
stuff in a
for
video
no
game
reason.
podcast.
No, they don't. Hi, Dick Jules. Yes, John did it again.
Exactly.
Yeah, Jedi, I'm giving Xbox some credit. So anyway, we're live right now on twitch.tv/John and Michelle. We'll probably cut the start of this show, John, because it was a complete fucking disaster.
are you
But we do it every
talking
Tuesday
about?
from 9 to 11 p.m. Eastern. And if you miss it, yeah, that's true, Sniper. People should get the subs podcast in Discord to get the inside jokes. And you can get bonus shows in our Discord, the entire back catalog of 20 years of VGO. What else? Ad-free VGO. You can get that in Discord or on our app. Check out videogameoutsiders.com. It's a good place because we're giving away games every week, usually from
That's
CD
right.
keys. But this week we've got something right from the devs, Mandragoria Whispers of the Witch Tree, which we're going to talk about tonight. So you can win that, enter to win. You get extra entries as well if you support us anywhere. So Discord's a great place to be. Steve, I know you're in there, and we have a really big, beefy show.
we do. It's exciting. Like, Phil gifted us this whole show tonight. Really.
Oh my God. All right. I was going to give Phil some credit. Now I just kind of feel sick inside.
What do you mean? And how can you say that? Listen, I'm telling you right now, the Switch 2 is going to be the biggest console release.
I'm saying that
in history.
People have been shitting on Nintendo a lot recently, and usually they don't. And now I'm seeing positivity.
It's going
about
to be
Xbox,
the biggest console launch in history. Mark my words.
No, it's not.
Yes,
and if
it
is.
is.
That's only because there's more console gamers.
No,
and every Nintendo
it's
launch
Nintendo has been secretly making these things
right,
like for months.
Sure,
that's what I think, and there's going to be plenty of supply.
Me, once again, you're telling me I'm pissed off at Nintendo. Fuck you, Nintendo. I've signed up for pre-orders.
I was irritated.
Irritated. It's right, irritated, which is Nintendo fanboy codism for pissed off, but you can't ever say that because like Miyamoto will like die somewhere if you say that. But so. You're pissed off
I
at
have
Nintendo.
a portrait
You're
of him in
the
basement. I don't want the tears coming out.
Now, Steve, are you a
Nintendo
Nintendo guy? Are you excited for Switch 2?
I have a Switch. I'm not that excited about the 2. I'll probably look into getting one. I'll probably hold off until the OLED, to be honest with you. My Switch back catalog will hold me off until then.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And there's a lot of games coming out for both, right?
Yeah.
Right.
There are, but they're saying that this new display with the HDR really can hold its own next to the OLED. So I'm curious to see how that works.
The Mario Kart thing does have me interested. Mm-hmm. Like that does look like a cool concept game.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's not going to hold its own. I've got both types of monitors.
Yes, it is.
It's
There's
not going to.
LCD technology. It doesn't.
And I have the latest LCD technology.
It's a moving target. Okay.
Right, but I have a brand new monitor with all the different regions and stuff, and next to an OLED. And I'm not talking about my other older IPS. And the OLEDs just look better. So
all right. Well, we'll see.
We'll see. But I don't blame Steve for holding
my PC, and I wouldn't go back.
Yeah, I mean, let's see. I don't blame people for holding off for the OLED, is what I'm saying. If you have a Switch OLED right now, or you have a Steam Deck OLED, and you're a handheld gamer, I can see people wanting to hold off. But I mean, that doesn't mean it's not going to be a big hit, and maybe the OLED will be closer than we think. So, John, I know you'll be kind of explaining your Nintendo woes during your time tonight because you've had some concerns about pre-ordering with their whole thing.
I did, yeah. Well, I guess we'll get into that during the news.
Yeah.
So should we just dive into this? We're going to do our Oblivion roundtable.
Yep.
But first,
I can't wait to hear your first review ever of Oblivion, John, in all these years. Because you probably played more tonight than you did in the last.
I don't know about that.
Years?
It's possible.
Yeah.
Did you get to River Run?
Riverwoods.
Wrong game, right?
Riverwoods.
Isn't that Skyrim?
Riverwoods. That was a Skyrim joke.
Yeah, because John has.
I'm on my way to find the sun.
Okay. Did you close the first gate?
No, I'm on the way to find the sun. That's where I am.
Okay. Well,
the
you
air.
Didn't play much.
Apparent. I played almost 2 hours, hour and a half.
What's up, Badger? All right. So let's talk about some stuff. I think I've gone through all our intros that we have to do. I'm out of sorts right now. There's been a lot of yelling in this episode already, and we're only 8 minutes. Did John make it out of the sewer? I don't know. He didn't close the gate yet, Zabum. That's what I was asking.
I told you what I did. I made it out of the sewer. I delivered the amulet, and then now I'm looking for the sun.
Okay. So yeah. All right. We're going to talk about that in a bit. We're going to. I
didn't know we were competing on this with the game release today.
I don't know. It came out. Yeah, it came out earlier today. I thought maybe you'd have played. You had done more, John. That's all. So we played some stuff, John. I know you tried this demo, but I played the full game. Mandragora Whispers of the Witch Tree. I did talk about this preview a bit back, but the full game is out now. It's basically a bunch of genres slammed into one. It's a dark fantasy, side-scrolling, Metroidvania. I don't know. They're calling it Souls-like, ARPG, whatever. And the reason why I like this game, even though the combat is a bit basic, is because it has all of these different genres slammed into one. Because I do not generally like side-scrollers. I don't generally like Metroidvanias, but I love ARPGs. So it has like a pretty decent-looking talent tree where, yes, a lot of the things are passive, but I still love a talent tree. It has sort of this interesting MMO-style profession crafting system. I don't know if you interacted with it all, John.
Not really.
Okay, for a tailor, for a blacksmith, for alchemy. So you sort of get these professions like dripped out to you in a way where you unlock people back at your base camp. And leveling through the professions feels very MMO-ish to me. So I like that aspect of it. And so, like I said, there's just like a lot of cool things they're doing with this world. And it does feel a little soulsy because the bosses are supposed to be a little bit harder and there's a dodge roll and you do drop stuff on death. And, you know, it has like a bonfire system. So it has a little bit of Souls stuff worked in. But to just drop Souls-like on everything, you know, is kind of a thing people do.
But I did feel that.
Yeah.
I played this on the Steam Deck. on my TV. And it kind of looked a little fuzzy, but it totally worked and played well. I did really like the kind of aesthetic of the world.
Yeah.
It felt kind of alive. Usually these kind of... Is this really that Metroidvania, do you think?
I think it's very light on it, which is why I like it. Like I found a grappling hook area. And it's like you'll have to come back later, and then you may unlock a certain gate to get to a faster way. But like I said, this kind of slams a bunch of stuff, like different genres into one. And downside for me though, no ultra wide. The game was designed around that because the way enemies come in, and so you can't like mod it or anything. The voice acting's very spotty for me. Some of it's great. They actually have one of the Elden Ring actresses in there, but then like the female voice character is so bad it sounds like Daria, and I put it in the review that I left on Steam. I was like, everything's great but this. But no, this is like one of those games that's kind of going unnoticed. Like it's getting some love and some attention, but people are kind of sleeping on it. But I do think outside of like the combat being a little bit kind of a little basic, kind of a little, I wish it had more going on with the talent tree, that they weren't all passives. There was more active skills to slot in. But it does get better as you play, because, John, I don't know if you saw all the different classes, and once you get to a certain level, you can sort of combine classes' moves and slot them in.
Was that a huge talent tree that I saw in that thing?
Yeah. It is a pretty decent sized talent tree. I don't throw out the term huge because I play Path of Exile. So to me, anything like to just look like that. But it's decently sized. But it's just not.
It's adequate.
It's adequate. Yeah. It's just
Fair
the
enough.
passive skills on it are just a little boring because they happen like when you roll, you'll put spikes on the ground. Like it's not like, hey, you just gained a new ability. You have to unlock that through a different type of thing. So I like it though. You keep going back to the witch tree, which is like your base camp, and you slowly build it up with different vendors and professions. And you're just going around town with this decent story. Actually, it's dark fantasy and killing. Did you kill a couple of bosses or something, John? Or how would you describe?
I killed a giant rat.
Okay. Not really. Yeah, it's so I don't know. It's one of those kind of things.
Boss.
Okay, yeah, and then I think there's a wolf, and there's just kind of, you get the pattern of stuff. Like certain enemies, like archers, you'll duck under them, and then there's bats flying at you, and so there's some platforming too, which is another genre it sort of throws in there that I don't typically love, but it actually is light enough here where it's just some light platforming. It's kind of like they took a bunch of things and made a cake of like all these different genres, and the end product I do like. So check out Mandragora Whispers the Witch Tree. We do have a key we're giving away in our Discord on videogameoutsiders.com, but there is a demo I do recommend checking out. And like I said, not perfect. I wish it was a little more, the combat wasn't so just basic is the only way I can kind of say it, but it
performs well
works.
on Steam Deck, I'll add.
Yeah, it sounds like
Even
it'd
on
be a
my
good Steam Deck
television.
game.
Yeah.
I also want to bring up Last Epoch, or Epic, depending if you want to use the British or American term or way of pronunciation. But it's basically an ARPG I've brought up a few times before that tends to fall.
I forgot about this game.
Yeah, it tends to fall somewhere in between like Diablo and Path of Exile as far as complexity. But it's getting a lot of love right now because they just released the Tombs of the Erased. It's season 2, which is all focused on end game and replayability. Now, Steve, do you play any ARPGs or anything like that?
I actually just started playing Path of Exile 2,
Okay.
Prepping for the show. And I was kind of holding off, waiting for it to come out, but I was like, hell with it, I'm coming on, I got to play it.
Okay, well,
And,
good. Well, what do you think
yeah.
of the whole genre or just PoE in general?
So far, it's been pretty awesome. I've only played a couple of hours because I played it this morning before the Elder Scroll thing, but yeah, no, I'm hooked already. I'm already hooked.
That's good to hear, because for me, I like Path of Exile 1 and 2. They're like my favorite ARPGs, but Last Epoch definitely holds up to them at this point, where enough where you should check it out if you like the genre. Like before, people are like, okay, wait for it to get out of early access. Okay, wait for it to get out of 1.0. Okay, the game is good, but there's no end game. I think with this patch, it's called Tombs of the Erased, they've actually added like a really decent end game from what I've been seeing. And I didn't get there yet, but I've been leveling through and I'm excited to get there and actually do it this time, because the first time I played the game, it was like really cool, but there wasn't much going on in like once you hit max and once you kind of went through their mapping system a little bit. So yeah, the thing with this game is there's a lot of loot, even more so I feel like than other ARPGs, but they have one of the best loot filters I think in the genre, kind of built in, where you can break it down. So don't get overwhelmed if you do try this game. But it doesn't, okay, once you come off of Path of Exile 2 and just how good it looks and the smoothness of it and the animations, like going to anything else is going to be a little jarring at first. Like, so graphically it's decent, but it's not going to like be up to par with Path of Exile 2.
I remember liking how this game looked and felt, like the cities and stuff. Like,
yeah, it has an old school, like,
it's a little
in a good
lighter
way.
than PoE too, right? Like a little more vibrant kind of.
Maybe like it has a dash of like torchlight mixed in, but just a dash. It's not like gross, like, in your face. It's just like a little dash of brightness.
Well, PoE is kind of
like
heavy.
WoW
Like
something.
this felt, I remember, like this felt a little more approachable visually.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense
Diablo
at all.
4 had a dark tone, but I still...
Yeah.
Yeah, I still prefer dark, and I still prefer like Path of Exile.
I remember like liking the town, like one of the towns I was in last Epoch.
I'm okay with
this.
this.
Looks like it would be a cool game.
Yeah,
What's
it
that?
is cool.
This looks like it's a cool
Yeah.
What
game.
I like about it is if you've played any of the other older ones like Titan Quest or even Grim Dawn, they have a system where you level up certain spells, and that's what they do in this game, where you can put points into certain spells, or it's like the leveling, like the tiered system here is kind of like, do I want to put it into like the tree or the sub-tree or the spell, and you get these points to like play around with, and it's just kind of unique. So it's one of those ones where there's like 5 good ARPGs now that like if you played them, you should probably check them all out at this point. And we've got Titan Quest 2 coming, which I kind of like the alpha I played of that. So I think ARPGs are having like a really good time right now. And it's not just because of Path of Exile 2, which isn't even
Renaissance?
out yet. Yeah, I think they really are. I think that it's a good time for this genre. And there's so many people out there I talk to that have never played one. They get overwhelmed. They don't know what one to start with. They don't know what to do. And it's like, then they fall in love and they want to play all of them. So add this one to your list and do check it out, because every season there's going to be new stuff to check out, and that's just part of the whole system too, where these games don't get old. They're constantly updating them. It's not like a one and done thing. There's like always something new to check out or whatever. But yeah, I put a lot of time into those 2 games, honestly. And then all of a sudden today, it's like, here it is, Oblivion remake. So I did spend most of my day playing that and dropped everything else that I was planning to do. I was like, I had a couple of
When
other
you
games.
woke up, were you like, oh.
Yeah. Well, I woke up a little bit. Ew. That's not what I sound like. But
You're
anyway, I woke
orgasmic,
up-
Michelle?
No, I wasn't orgasmic. Although I watched some clips today of people going apeshit on the internet, John, when they saw that it was shadow drop during the little presentation. And I've like, you'd have to give me $50 million to act like some of these people. Like there were people like gyrating on the floor and, like screaming like, okay, so let me make this clear. And I'm sure we'll bring this up later. I want to talk to you guys about your history with the game. I put Oblivion on one of my top like 5-10 games of all time or whatever when we did the list, because it really was great and it really did shape RPGs. So I love this game, but I'm not going
not to skip ahead at all.
What?
Okay, I'm not going to ask the question yet. I'll save it.
Okay, we'll save it. All right, so yeah, we're going to talk about Elder Scrolls Oblivion remake in a bit with a big round table, and talk about like just the game in general and what we think of it, as well as because it's hard. We're not going to review Oblivion, but yeah, it's worth talking about. So I'm just drinking Oblivion Optimum Nutrition Amino Energy Concord Grape Shadow Drop.
Nice.
Yep. What's up, John? What did you do over there?
Call of Duty.
Oh my God.
I have some questions for you about this Call of Duty thing.
Yes, hi.
Continue.
John, for VGO. Go ahead, sir.
Steve, how you doing?
Good.
I need the synergy explained to me. Like
The
I need to
loadout
know what
synergy?
you and Matt McCarthy. Yeah, I need to know.
Oh, okay. So there is a loadout synergy that we've developed. I do have some charts. I could email them to you if you
I would
want
appreciate.
to
I need to know what the differences are.
So Matt and I are really talking, really interested in having lots of smoke and lots of like gas traps and mines. Okay. And if we both have like recharging smoke or recharging gas bombs or mines, then we can really control a room. And we really developed this for Nuketown. This is we like holding up the room. The rooms
And by the
upstairs.
way, I will say John and Matt are shit. Okay, we had a
What?
competition. We had Call of Duty like competitions all the time. They always get the shit kicked out of them. So you don't want to take
No, we
synergy
didn't. That's
advice
not
from,
true.
from this duo.
That is not
this
true.
ambiguously
That's
shit
not
duo.
true.
Okay, it is.
I wasn't
is
taking
true.
his advice. I was just curious
I
as to
know.
what the synergy was. I've heard about it for
Synergy.
years.
It's a loadout.
He
It's a
holds
loadout
his hand.
synergy.
One guy puts his hand on the knee,
Well,
and they
one of
3,
them's
2,
got
1.
their pinkies interlocked, and one of them
Yes.
says, "Okay, you get the pack, the accessory pack, and you get the claymore." I got it.
Right.
Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Prestige.
Because we use thermal scopes, so we want to have a lot of smoke so we can kind of control the whole match.
Oh, you're a camper. Okay,
Yes.
I got you.
Yeah, they sit in a room. That's why they're easy to kill. You just chuck a grenade through the window and they both die. Once you figure out that they're in that room.
But here's the thing.
Yeah.
Listen, they did the Kevin Smith, Jay and Silent Bob skins,
Yeah.
and we bought
I
them.
saw that.
Yeah, and I'm Silent Bob and he's Jay. It works. And then they released
recapping John's love life every week.
No. And then here's the thing.
Yeah.
Then they release another set of Jay and Silent Bob skins. That's like the Blunt Man, whatever. Listen, I'm not a pot guy. I don't know why there's so much pot shit in Call of Duty, but there is, right?
Because the youth is all high. They don't even drink anymore, and they don't interact with each other. That's what.
Yeah, because they did
everywhere.
They did a whole 420 thing.
Well, your
like,
name is
really
Stoned Old Gaming, Steve, so you get it why it's there.
I'm all about it. I know how it works.
All right, we
So
have
Call
to
of
have
Duty
one,
really leans
weed
into it.
User on our show. It's like
Yeah, so I did get the Blunt Man.
Okay.
Blunt Man skin, which is 20.
go.
I don't know. I don't even want to tell you what I spent on these
You
stupid
spent
Kevin
how
Smith.
much?
They're 2,800 points. What is that like? I spent like
$1 per
$50.
dollar.
What?
It's $1 per dollar conversion.
Yeah, so I spent like $50 on Kevin Smith's skins, Michelle.
Why?
So shoot me. I don't know.
I mean, that's
Because you know why? Because Phil gave me the game for free, and I don't mind.
No, he
kicking
didn't give it
little
to you. You
bit.
don't own it. Now you have
It's
skins for
fine.
games
I'm
you don't
moving
own.
on next time. It'll be in my Game Pass library forever. I'm not getting rid of it. All right, so I played that. I do want to talk about this game that I kind of got into. It's called Avia Assembly, and it's my kind of game. It's kind of like a Kerbal Space Program, but for planes, where you're building aircraft. But what I like about it is that you build aircraft and then you do missions, and the missions are mostly fetch quests. Like you land at a airport, like at a hospital, and you pick up medicine, and then you deliver it to the wind farm where there's people injured, And there was a game I used to play a long time ago made by Will Wright called Simcopter that I fucking adored. And it was the same kind of thing where you were flying a helicopter around, rescuing people off burning buildings and all kinds of shit like that. Now, this is like an early access type game. There is like a roadmap that's going to be adding a lot more stuff like Steam Workshop shit, and they're going to be adding helicopters and more interesting missions like rescue missions, which is what I'm interested in, or cargo drop or time missions. But right now the missions are just basically you pick something up and you have to deliver it, and you're trying to manage your fuel. Right now I've got shitty parts, and you're getting cash every time you land, which you can use to upgrade your plane. You're getting like these like metal pieces that you could use for research to research better parts. And so right now I'm in the prop age. I haven't gotten to the jet age yet. All that stuff's locked. And then I did make a mistake though, and I played the sandbox mode, which gives you fucking everything. So if you don't do that, it ruins the whole thing.
I mean, it's a creative mode. That's sort of the point of sandbox, though.
Yeah, but it gave me everything, and I got to see what a badass jet would be like and stuff. But it's really fun, just screwing around with like the physics. And if I put wings here, you got to find the center of gravity on the plane and put them in the right spot. And if you don't, you're gonna have trouble taking off. And it's just fun to play around with.
This looks like they need to combine this game with what is that, Schedule 1, and we could have a perfect game for you and me. You could be flying my drugs in your Cessna, and we'd be set.
That would be amazing, wouldn't it?
Yes, it would.
But this game is really light. It's kind of arcadey. The flying, I would kind of compare it to like Battlefield 1942, like the planes and stuff. It's that simple. But it's a really chill game. It's kind of fun. I totally recommend it. I'm into it. So I'm really curious to see what they're going to be doing long term. I think this might be one dev to this game, but it's called Avia Assembly, and I played that, and that's it for me this week. I'm drinking a Partake.
Well, this is going to be a 10-minute show. We're really cooking through.
I got some stuff. I played some games.
What'd you do, Steve?
Well, I started off, I played some stuff that I just found on Game Pass. I played Mullet Mad Jack, which is it's like a...
It's been a topic on our show.
Podcast,
it keeps coming up. There's something about this damn game. Like, it struck a nerve. Mullet Mad Jack.
So it's Instagram's tile game where you have a 15-second timer. If you don't kill somebody within 15 seconds, you die.
Yep.
And you can get time increase by shooting in the head, shooting in the balls, kicking them into fans, all kinds of weird, stupid shit. It's Duke Nukem Doom shooting from the hip, no aim down sights. Your aim down sights makes you slide. Yeah, I don't know. It was pretty cool. The levels are anywhere from 50 seconds to about a minute and 20 seconds, and if you don't make it in that time, you're going to die. So it took me about 2 or 3 hours, and I beat the whole thing. It was interesting.
Did you really?
Yeah. I mean,
see, I kind of I didn't love it, to be honest. I mean, the style was cool. Like, I like the aesthetic of it. It didn't do this like one more time thing to me.
No, it took a minute or two to figure out how it worked, and once you figured out that you just kind of haul ass and just shoot everything in front of you as fast as you can go and just get out, it changed. And then once I realized that there was only X amount of levels, I was like, okay, I put this much time in. I'm just going to finish the stupid thing and just finish it.
Right. Did you play that on Game Pass?
Yes, I did actually. So, and then, yeah, it wasn't too bad. I don't know if he did it on that one, but it was all right. I did play PoE like I talked about earlier, just awesome. That does have a girthy skill tree on it. I went with the mercenary, just because I thought that was kind of a cool build. And I wanted to talk to you about the Dawn of the Hunt versus the Standard. I started playing Standard. The Dawn of the Hunt seemed like it was going to be a seasonal thing for me, so I kind of skipped that.
Yeah, well, basically, your seasonal character will go back into like Standard at the end. But I mean, if you're a casual player and you don't plan on like leveling one every season, you can just do like Standard like that. But sometimes it's cool to mess around with the seasonal mechanics. And this time there was something with like Dawn of the Hunt that like it'll be over your head to worry about like what was even happening. So like you made the right choice. Like for the thing right now with Path of Exile 2 is unfortunately for like the casual player who just wants to play through and like do the campaign or something, you have to do Act 1 through 3 twice. It's not done. It's not out yet. So your experience, even though it's cool to get it in play, just know that
it's all going to reset on them.
Well, it will reset, yes, and also there's going to be 6 acts, and right now there's only 3. So if you want to get to max level and get to end game, which is where you start mapping and things start getting crazy, that you have to do Act 1 through 3 twice. It's basically
right.
It's kind of a little taxing, and so a lot of people I've been talking to, even my friends that really like PoE 1, they love it. They're like, you know what? I'm going to wait till the game's out. They're kind of split on it. So I know a couple of people like that go both ways. So it's kind of like. It's okay that you bought it early, though, and you're fooling around with it because for the $30, you get points to buy bank tabs. So make sure you do that. Like there's certain bank tabs you're going to want. So when it does come out free, it's not like you paid $30 for nothing. You're going to get tabs that you want anyway because it's all about the loot in this game, as you're seeing, and keeping an organized bank and, you know, all your stuff that you want in the tabs and the currency.
Right. And shout out to CD Keys because I got it for half price there.
Nice. Yeah, there's a good deal right now on CD Keys, like $15-$16, like you said. So check that out.
And then I played another stupid game, actually. I played this game called Sir Whoop Ass.
Yeah, I've seen that. I've looked at that a few times. How is it?
It was corny. It's a little ARPG, or I would maybe call it ARPG. You have skill tree, you level up stuff. It was pretty dumb. You pick up gnomes, you eat gnomes for health. Mm-hmm. Just a stupid like character upgrades, like the knight. You're a knight, and so like I got a propeller hat as an upgrade, like the little ones that you wear as a kid.
Right.
And the benefit of that is when you jump, like you float down slower and you get a top hat that does some more damage. It's it knows it's a parody game.
Yep.
And it really plays into that really hard. So it is what it is. It was
the description is this game contains puns, dad jokes, Flappy Bird-like arcade minigames, breaking of the fourth wall, and jabs directed at try-hard, overly serious RPGs.
And that's exactly what it does.
Do not play if you hate fun.
Kind of like a Monty Python of the genre or something.
Yeah, it would be like if Mel Brooks made a
yeah.
RPG game.
Yep.
And then basically after that, I just spent the rest of my time, like I said, playing PoE, and then I played Oblivion for a few hours today, getting ready for this.
And you're playing Schedule 1 still, or?
Yeah, and I'm still doing that. I'm still doing, just with that, I've kind of gotten over the whole me running around selling the drugs part of it, but like me cooking it and making the mixes and doing all that type of stuff is still fun. I kind of just schedule all my drugs at the end of the day and then go and do all my drops and then go and do all my other stuff and then kind of let it go, let my dealers make me the money.
Right.
Yeah.
So does the game get really interesting and better like the further in you get?
No. I mean, it does the same thing. You add like it takes more effort to do meth. It takes a lot more effort to do coke. I haven't even started cooking the coke yet.
Yeah, I've heard this.
But
I didn't even know it went into other drugs. I thought it was only
and you can
pot.
do all.
Okay.
You can. I've got like 5 dealers that are working for me right now. I own all the properties. I own all the places to launder my money.
Okay.
I have people working for me that are just. I just show up and grab my drugs and leave. And
he needs to do this, but with a whorehouse. We should have brothels. Like he could take this whole like game thing that he built and just like put different art kits on it because it's kind of crazy how popular it is.
It's a catchy hook. Like if you, I don't know, it wears thin, but at the same time it doesn't. So
yeah,
and I think it's a chill game too. Don't you think? Like it's just
and I mean just that. It's
I mean,
like
is there ever
jazz.
high pressure in that game?
Well, when the cops are chasing you and you've got a whole bunch of them shooting at you and stuff.
Yeah,
yes,
I know.
And but other than that,
where do you live? By the way, there's like curfews and roadblocks, like for pedestrians and shit, and search points and shit. Like, why? Where are you?
I imagine it's kind of like a retirement community. So
the curfew threw me when that was introduced, and then I was crossing a bridge and there's a bunch of cops searching me just because they had checkpoints.
Yeah, you learn how to you learn how to go around all those.
Yeah, but I wasn't expecting like the mini game when I was being searched and stuff.
Yeah, the first couple times when they catch you, it kind of messes with you.
So what are you drinking, Steve? Did you say? Sorry.
No, I'm drinking an EG's, which is a watermelon and pineapple shaved ice drink that's only available in Arizona or Tucson. So
nice. I was going to ask where you were from. So
yeah, Arizona.
Let's get into then.
That's about it.
Elder Scrolls, Oblivion, Shadow Drop, remake, whatever we want to call this.
Kind of bored tonight. I wonder what's on motherfucking Games Pass.
John's having a moment in the sun because Phil had a good day with
Phil's
the
had a
Elder
great
Scrolls
life.
Oblivion remake. Yeah, he's had a good life.
Yeah.
No, he did. This was nice. I might even buy it on Steam though, honestly. But it is on Game Pass. Yeah, I did that with a couple of games. Are you doing that, Steve? Did you pick it up?
Yeah, because I saw in the Discord that they were saying you could do the upgrade for $10, and I went to try to do that, and the $10 upgrade does not upgrade the old Oblivion. You still have to have the
new
remastered one.
Yeah.
So, because I thought I was going to be able to do the bypass, and it didn't work.
So it's technically a remaster, but to me, it's
a remake. I mean, they're using the word remaster.
Yeah,
they're
using
to charge you.
Yeah,
I know, but really, it's from the ground up. Like they redid the whole
Unreal
fucking
Engine,
game.
And there's a layer of the graphics that are changed, but everything else is the same, basically. Like that's what they kind of described. That it's sort of
they
had somebody else do it, which is interesting because that's good news for me with like ES6 because I'm like, okay, they're abandoning their shitty engine that Starfield was on, and that all the like this is Unreal 5 now, and then they had somebody else do it, not Bethesda, and hey, it's actually kind of working out. So because
now they released an announcement saying that they started this in 2021 and they were aimed to breathe new life into a chapter of Elder Scrolls that set a path forward for many of their games. They never wanted to remake it, but remaster it. But they were saying like once they got into it, they redid like everything.
Okay. Well, they said they reworked the combat to be more like Souls-like,
every piece
which
of art.
Melee's like I don't know. There's no dodge roll or anything like that. They didn't change like it that much, but
sure, it still has a little jank from its
it's got a lot of jank, but you'll appreciate it as you're playing because the old school feel of it, like having one spell up at a time in your wheel and you can't move while you're casting it, and like the initial kind of. Okay, it starts coming back to you. But let's roll back a little bit. So they had this little announcement today. They shadow dropped it during it at the end. They're like, and by the way, it's out right now. You know, he looks up at his watch. And there you go, 120 gigs ready to download. So let's talk about, Steve, I know people know that Oblivion's one of my favorite games. What was your history with the original?
I played a little bit of it after I played several hours of Skyrim, but I've never played. I think I played it more today than I have at all.
Oh, good. Yeah. So Cliff in the chat saying he's never played Oblivion. It's a good time to jump in. Yeah, this would be the one to try, not the original, in my opinion. There's really no reason because I think it's so far so good. Even though they changed the color palette a little bit, I used to like the saturation, but I think they intended to make it look more realistic and more in the vein of like, I think they were almost going for like, I don't know, Elden Ring or something like that. Like they kind of toned down the look of it just graphically as far as the color palette in a way. It doesn't have that vibrancy that Oblivion did at the time. I think that was a stylistic choice that may end up working for them. Some people like me are kind of miss the brightness, but I think overall the visual update looks good. What about you, John?
Well, I mean, I played this on the 360, and we talked about it years ago, forever ago.
Sure.
And I don't remember much about it, to be honest. I remember the sewers and the rats and all that shit.
Because that's when you quit.
No, it's not. I mean,
Yes,
I know.
it is.
I remember making it outside when I played this, but but in the very beginning, like I didn't remember the stuff with the king and all that shit. Or
I mean,
whatever
it's Patrick Stewart. I mean, and to me, it's one of my favorite openings in a game.
It's
I
pretty
love starting
badass,
off in
and the
jail
king's
cell.
legit.
Yeah, Emperor is legit or whatever. And like, you get out, and not to spoilers or whatever, something happens to him and he tells you something, and then you have to fight your way up. And once you emerge from that underground sort of sewer, you get this kind of feeling. And for me, the main menu when the music kicks in is when I'm like, okay, this feels good, right, Steve? Because it's like that.
It
that
looked
theme
good.
song.
Like I mean, I had never played it before, but it looked good. It felt very Fallout 76 as far as how the
when you leave the sewer
environment looks.
Oh yeah, okay. Now, what did you guys think though about like the performance, the visuals? I played on PC, Xbox. Michelle, I assume the same.
Yes.
Steve, where did you play?
I played on PC on Game Pass.
Yeah.
It was a little janky.
Yeah, it's a
Like,
little janky.
The running.
It was running great until I went outside.
Yeah, well, they have DLSS, but it's not the latest version, and you can't like tweak it at all because of being the Game Pass app. That's what makes me want to get it on Steam. There's more options.
I was wondering about that too.
Yeah, that's why I'm going to look into that and maybe do that. But it's perfectly fine. My frames are fine, everything's fine, and it looks okay. It does take a second to get used to like the floaty movement and the speed. Like my character is running super fast. I'm Imperial, which I have a speed boost anyway. And like you're moving really fast. So you take some time to mess with your sensitivity, set up your key bindings. Like I took 10 minutes, John, getting my key bindings right. And then once you do, it feels really good. Like I like everything about. Do you think
I was wondering if it was really, it's a controller game really, right? Like, cause
not for me. I played the original.
I understand that, but like,
no, because it's not bad at all. There's quick swaps. So people are asking, you never played it before. What's
some of the bindings were nonsensical.
The bindings are easy.
It.
They're not nice. I don't have a problem with the bindings because I just swapped a few keys. Basically, you have this spell wheel where you're going to drag spells into or like potions into, and you can quick swap to them. So the easiest thing to do is like set up just a quick key to pull up the circle wheel, or you just key bind, like 1 through 10 or something, and you swap them.
Yeah, that all makes sense.
It's not a crazy active type of thing, though. You're not like you're going to be peppering in so set up Q and E to go with your 2 favorite spells, and then you just click your mouse when you're swapping between them. Like a lot of the things are like situational, so you'll pull it up to be like, okay, I need a light, or I want to heal, or so you're gonna find out with your build. And there's a lot of options in this game. Like for people who have never played it before, like Vinny is saying, I've never played it before. Like you're gonna experience stuff which you're going to see like kind of defined a lot of RPGs, even though Elder Scrolls, all of them have, but like jumping around and leveling, acrobatics. And then right now I'm just running around summoning skeletons over and over and over so I can level conjuration. And everything you do, whether you're picking up herbs or you're leveling something, everything you do. So if you use a certain weapon or it's got that like old school MMO-ness to it, that it overall levels that and also your overall level. And then you have to rest to level up your level, and then you have stat points to put in. And you're picking like your star sign and your perks, and you can create your own class. And you have this freedom that you just don't get in a lot of games. And that's what I like about it. When you walk out into that open world, you have this freedom, not only with the open world to move around as you want and do whatever you want, but to level what you want, to play how you want. Now, did you guys, John, I don't know how far you've gotten. Well, I do know how far you've gotten, but have you decided how you want to play? I'm doing like a battle mage,
picked
like
the mage.
spell.
Yeah, the mage.
thing.
I'm going for magic stuff. So,
Okay.
And I couldn't believe how many fucking spells I had right out of the gate. Like it blew my mind actually. Like
A lot of them are
like,
situational. Like one of the spells
Sure,
is
and some
open
of
up
them
a
are like
lock,
one-time
or-
use or once a day and whatever. But like I was just surprised how many there were. Like,
Oh, but that's
they don't
nothing yet.
I know, but they don't spoon feed you. Like out of the gate, they give you a lot of choices, like you're saying, right? Like,
Yeah.
And I actually had a lot of fun going through all the spells, reading what they do, figuring out which ones I want to put in the action bar or the
Yep.
action wheel, and like I actually really enjoyed that. And I think a lot of people are going to love this game.
I think they are. I think it's new to a lot of people. Like they played
I think it is
Skyrim, but they
too.
never
I'm
went back to
seeing
the
that
old
everywhere.
one because it looked like shit. And now they can go play
That's what I
something.
saw.
To me, this was always a better game than Skyrim.
Okay,
So-
that was the question I was going to ask you before.
Well,
because,
this landed on my top 5 games. Skyrim did not.
But I know that I feel like we've talked more about Skyrim than Oblivion.
Of course we have.
Throughout the
It was a
history of the
bigger
show.
game and it was a newer game.
Yeah, but I saw a lot of people saying today that like this game never got like the lore or their love because it just didn't look as good as Skyrim, right? And not a lot of people went back to play it. And now I think like I do kind of question all these remasters. You know, it's so like we're constantly doing it.
I don't question it at all because I think this was the glory days of.
But I don't question. I think this was a really good move doing this.
I think it was a great move. Yeah, Steve, what have your impressions been playing?
So, I mean, excuse me, I've really enjoyed it so far. I've been playing as a thief, dark elf. Yeah. So I've been doing a sword and shield kind of with a bow as well. It's cool. It's definitely I've never, like I said, I never played it before. It reminds me of Skyrim, but I've heard. And I know that I've heard you guys talk about this game, especially you, Michelle, endlessly about how much you love it. So I'm in it for the haul. Like I'm gonna finish it. You know. Sit down and
By the way, I
through
heard there's 500 hours of potential content here.
Yeah, there were DLCs that are probably a part of this, and closing the gates used to be the one thing I hated, and that could take a while. But like my love for this game is definitely some nostalgia now, but it really is worth playing and good. Like if you like Skyrim or you just like RPGs and you want to go back and play something that like kind of inspired a lot of things, and it's just different now, and it's not as handholdy, and I like that. And so, but it's not hard. Like you can get in there and figure out what to do. I know John used to hate the compass on top. You got mad when we talked about it back then. I hate this compass. It's a GTA clone. You're telling me to go
that was Skyrim. That was the Riverwoods joke.
Today you were like, oh my God, they're giving me quick travel already and all these spells.
I know. I was, again, just like the spells.
Okay.
I couldn't believe I could fast travel immediately.
Yeah. I was going to say that was awesome. And the thing that really got me was I didn't realize you had to sleep to level up. So I think I was level 1 for like 4 hours in the game. And then I'm like, what the hell's going on?
Yeah.
And then like, you need to sleep.
Yeah, wow. I slept in an inn and then I realized, there is a day-night cycle. Like these are things I just don't remember at all.
It's one of those games where you can pick up everything and you don't really know what you should get if you're a new player, but a lot of it's just junk that you sell. But your bags are going to be filled with just tons of shit, and a lot of them are things, consumables, there's alchemy. Meat. But it's cool though. You pick up like something and it's like, wow, okay, now I can craft with alchemy, and now I can do this, now I can do that. You can barter. There's certain types of persuasion skills you can level when speechcraft, when you talk to people. Everything you're doing, it's almost like a sim of life. Like everything you do, you gain skill in, and that all contributes to your overall skill level, which I think is kind of a lot of people are going to appreciate, which I didn't feel as much in Skyrim. Was it still there like that, built like that? I think they kind of tamed it down where you didn't have to act as crazy, like, because you will find yourself just running around in this game casting or jumping and healing to try to level these skills, and it has this grindy aspect, but it's not in a bad way of a grind. It's a good grind where you're like, okay, I feel like everything I'm doing matters. You know what? I'm going to pick up all these herbs because I want to level this. I want to do something.
Right.
So everything's
now, are you playing as a goody two shoes? Because I'm afraid to steal.
Well, the cops can take you. Cops. Look, I have an arc with these games. I basically usually play good, and then at the end, when I'm bored, I go to like pure evil. I like burn down an entire town.
I wanted to steal a horse, and I was afraid to do it.
I know. I went crazy like with Skyrim and Oblivion, where I literally like torched an entire town, like Whiterun or something. And so like you have to be bad at least once in this game.
Right.
You do.
Now I want to talk about this. You know, obviously Microsoft has a new strategy, right? Mm-hmm. And it appears to be working, okay?
I think so.
So they released this game, they shadow drop it. It's on PlayStation immediately. It's on Xbox, it's on PC. I mean, Sony, like, their business model is feeling really antiquated right now, right?
Wouldn't you say that to Nintendo, who's only doing exclusives?
The thing is, I knew that you were setting me up. I knew I was setting myself up.
You set yourself up. No, because that's true.
Well, you lob it in there, John.
I know, but Nintendo's different though because they have proprietary hardware that does gimmicky shit. They're a little bit different.
They're not
different. The mouse is really gimmicky.
Yeah,
they're a little bit different.
I played Zelda on both my Switch and my PC. There was no difference other than how
Nintendo aside.
No, you can't make an argument against Sony and be blind to Nintendo.
I know, but
I think your head's
Microsoft
up
and
your own
Phil
ass.
they're invading Sony's customer base and saying, "Give us money," and people are saying yes.
They've always done that.
That's the goal.
I know it is.
Right, but how is this a bad thing?
I love it. I think it's so. I think it's so smart.
How is it a bad thing for PlayStation users who can then own that one console and
Sony
play their
is not
PlayStation
delivering.
stuff and Xbox stuff?
Okay,
so that's a good thing if you have Sony.
The last two big releases on PlayStation are from Microsoft.
Want Game Pass. That's it.
The last two big releases on PlayStation are from Microsoft.
But you can play them on the PlayStation. That's like saying, oh, isn't it stupid to have a PC because I can play the Xbox and the PlayStation games on PC? No, it's a good thing for me. And it's a good thing for PlayStation owners. It's Xbox who's making the money. It's a great thing
for Microsoft.
Of course, they're making the money. But it's not a great thing for the Xbox console itself if you're trying to look at why you should own one. That's where I think people are...
The joke here for a while has been, what is an Xbox? But it's really true at this point. To me. It doesn't matter. Like what an Xbox is my PC and it's my Xbox in my living room. It just depends on the mood.
When I launched my Game Pass app, it says Xbox, and I know that this week I get to play this game. I get to play Clair Obscur this week, which is out on it. The next month I get to play Doom. Indiana Jones was just out.
Yes,
so it's starting to look very attractive. The library is getting nicer. Okay,
it really is.
And so I think why would PlayStation people be attracted to this? It would have to be just Game Pass itself. Because they can already play these games, or they will most be able to, Fable as well and all this stuff. They can play them on their console. But, there is some value in Game Pass here. Because even if you do pay the $15 a month, you're getting games that are, at least one a month, you probably want to play a $60 game, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But I
feel like they're firing on all cylinders right now. And I feel like there was a little bit of hate last year on this whole thing with them buying these studios. I think we're starting to see the fruits of all this.
I have hope now that Bethesda said, hey, look, let's abandon our shitty engine. Let's get another company to remake this. And I think that's why this is a success. And I feel like the properties are why things are good. And if Xbox can keep creating games with good properties and putting them everywhere, they are going to keep making money. But that doesn't mean people are going to flock to buy their console. Although, if you're a console-only person and you want Game Pass, you can't get Game Pass on Switch or PlayStation, right?
So that's by design,
right.
For now,
but Phil would love it. Phil would probably.
I'm sure Phil would love it.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if the cloud streaming came to Switch somehow.
Yeah.
Right.
I could see that.
I could see it too, actually.
Candy,
if they cut
PlayStation
Nintendo
isn't a PC because you can't play PC games on PlayStation. So. To take PC out of the market, if you're, people sit down.
But my point is that Sony is not handling the PC properly. They're doing a better job than they did 2 years ago. But
Nintendo is handling it worse.
Okay,
so you can't shit on Sony without at least critiquing Nintendo.
Nintendo's not. They're doing their own thing in the corner.
Yeah, they are. They're kind of their own walled garden.
And PlayStation and Xbox are competing more directly, in my opinion, because Switch is still like everyone's second console or second.
Are they competing though?
Gaming.
Because Xbox really lost hard as far as console sales. Competing on what metric? If we're talking
about
but
it's the razor blade scenario though. They want to sell more razor blades, which is the fucking games. So
but if we're talking about now on IPs and where money is being made, I'd like to see the money made on each side. It's not about console sales. What about the money made?
I hope this makes Sony release their big games day one on PC. This is what I hope.
I hope
this
it puts pressure on them. Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be nice instead of the 6 months or a year.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, Helldivers was an instant one, and they had the biggest game
release ever. Well, they had to do that
because
they needed the multiplayer base, right?
Right. Well, it could have not been crossplay. I don't even know if it was at start, but they did it because it was a multiplayer game, and that's not why people buy PlayStation consoles.
Right.
People buy PlayStation consoles.
But the first-person narrative stuff, and even like the show or something. Put the show on fucking PC. I would fucking love that.
But the thing that they're doing is, why would they when you get people buying twice? Just like it's a business, and I know people who bought Spider-Man once on console, then once on PC.
I bought Spider-Man twice.
So why would they do it, John, if they're going to keep double dipping? They won't do it unless they have to, and somebody's got to put pressure on them to do that. And is it Xbox with their? I mean, today they had a pretty big day, and this thing is a hit on PlayStation. This thing is a hit on Steam. So it's not even is it an Xbox game anymore? I mean, I think to me the sort of Trojan horse is Game Pass. That's why you would own an Xbox in your living room if you're not a PC gamer, obviously. But that's why, because you can't do that on the PlayStation. And you have to buy this
Game
now
Pass
for $50,
is also very
$40.
compelling on Xbox. I mean, on PC. I mean, Call of Duty, I play it on Game Pass on my PC a lot. Right? That's compelling.
Yeah. So I think Game Pass is having a good week here. Last week, weren't we just talking about something else? That
Indiana
was Game Pass?
Jones.
Yeah, no. Last week I played another Game Pass game.
Oh.
I can't even keep track, or something. But it's
Blueprints.
Yeah, Blueprints was a big hit last week. This week we're talking about Oblivion and Clair Obscur, and then so if they can keep doing this,
they just added Grand Theft Auto 5 too, by the way, which installed again. Like on my.
And they had South of Midnight recently, which I know wasn't a huge hit, but it's still something new that got people talking.
Yeah.
33 Immortals.
Yep, there you go. Like if they keep doing this, then I really do think that Game Pass is in good shape, and Xbox as an entity, John, like what is an Xbox, is in great shape,
right.
Putting their games everywhere. But at the end of the day, people will say, "Oh, they suck, they lose because they don't sell consoles anymore." Well, selling living room consoles is really not part of the battle anymore. It's not part of the conversation as far as I think Xbox is doing very well. If you look at the one metric of Xbox sales, they're shitting the bed, right? But you can't say that they're not doing well elsewhere in other ways. And so I think they do deserve some credit. Phil did do it this week with Oblivion.
I mean, and then the Minecraft movie, I mean, that's them. That's their property.
In a way. Avowed, as Jedi said, not a great game, but a good Game Pass game for me, Avowed.
Well, the thing is, we all have kind of ADD now because there's just too many games all the time. And Game Pass really helps with that. Doesn't it? Because you don't feel bad abandoning a game when the next one comes out the next week, right? Because you don't have a lot invested in it. Mm-hmm. And then the ones you really like, you stick with. What?
Yeah, that could be bad. But no, it's amazing to me, just to go back to Oblivion, how many people have never played this game, like we're saying, and they did play Skyrim, and they're saying, should I play it? Which one should I play? Just don't even bother with the old one now. Normally I would say go experience the original. It's worth it. But I think that this remaster, remake, whatever you want to call it, layer of graphics is actually really well done, and
it's a modern game to me.
Yeah,
it's a definite improvement. I've tried playing the old one before, and this is definitely
hard.
Better.
It's
the character faces are a little grotesque.
Well, they are, but I mean, they're better than Starfield. They're
yeah, I know.
This looks better and plays better than Starfield. Sorry, this.
It's definitely way more interesting right out of the gate. Immediately, I'm like, this is cool.
Yep.
And I haven't played it in 15 years. When did we talk about that?
2006.
Jesus Christ.
And then we talked about it
19 years ago.
Yeah, I mean the game is almost as old as the show. So
right.
But I don't have much bad to say about it other than
now I want to ask you a question, Michelle.
I would have loved just the combat being refined a little bit more as far as feeling you could roll a little bit because you can play third or first person.
The casting made the bow and arrow, that thing was bullshit. Do you like the bow and arrow?
Well, I mean, you got to level it and you got to get.
I know, but it's just. I guess if I had higher damage, it would have been better.
You have to take arrow drop and everything into consideration with it.
Yes, exactly.
I think it was because I tried it initially and the damage was super low, and then when I got the fire bolt, whatever, I was like, okay, this is the one for me.
Well, yeah, but you can't compare that. Yeah,
I know
everything is perfectly capable to be played.
I want to ask this question because what do you think about this? How there's going to be no mods supported? Is that a problem?
You'll be able to get mods
on Steam, probably.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll do it. There's already talk of them because I looked up I wanted a mini map up on the corner right, even though you have a compass. I just like to see if I'm down in a dungeon, I don't want to have to pull it up and zoom in. But honestly, I don't know what mod you'd really want. You maybe want to make it look a little better and maybe unlock.
Well, I was just thinking about the Skyrim shit that.
Yeah. But you know what I thought was cool, and somebody put this in our news, I think maybe Cavi, that Xbox gave a copy of this Oblivion remaster to everybody working on Skyblivion. And that's how you do it. You don't sue them like Nintendo would. So it's not a threat to them. So I'm excited about Skyblivion as well, but the fact that Xbox and sort of Bethesda is embracing what the community is doing with this other huge project to celebrate this game, and also still they're doing well with this game. I think that's just not that the multi-billion-million-dollar company is for the people, but Xbox, the way they handle things with grace with stuff like this, I think should also be given a nod.
Right. So let me ask you a question. I have another question. So they had another studio working on this game, right? This remaster.
Yeah.
So, is this timed with some Elder Scrolls 6 announcement that's coming soon?
And is Elder Scrolls 6 Unreal 5?
Yeah.
Have they said?
That would make sense, right?
Have they said?
I hope so.
I want them to
I'm asking this question because it got me thinking about this. Why did they do this now?
I think they're going to do it with another Fallout. I think they're going to do it with a lot of games now. I think they have this new procedure down, like what they were talking about, where they layer over just Unreal graphics over like the game completely like underneath. And now that they have this down pat, this other company is probably going to come out with a Fallout redone.
I think it's a lot more involved in that because, like, if you look at the release they came out with today, like they said they went through every asset and remastered it, redid it. It wasn't like an automated button
co-developer Virtuous Studios I didn't say that. Co-developers Virtuous Studio explained how they've done it. It's running Unreal 5, but only for the graphics. Unreal 5 is serving as the graphical layer, but the Oblivion remaster is running the original game logic under the hood.
Yeah, I get
Unreal
that.
5 is just the graphics, and the original game logic is underneath. So they didn't
if
remake it.
If this, then that. I mean, that's the logic of the game.
It's basically like it's running graphics mods layer over it. It's Oblivion, but it looks
I
like
think
it's
a lot
in
more
Unreal
than that,
5.
though. They improved the animation, like the third and first person views are now like on par with each other. They redid a lot of the voice acting. I'm trying to find the thing
that
they
doesn't
posted.
change anything. That's not. It's just different
I
voice acting,
understand.
different graphics. It's still Oblivion. It's in a good way. Where I maybe would have wanted to see some quality of life things, but then it does take away that charming jank.
Yeah. So
which some
every piece
people
of
say.
art, animation, special effects, and part of the world are remastered.
Yes,
like
it's a graphical layer over it.
I understand, but I think that there was human hand involved, not
I
just
didn't say it
like
was
some
AI,
button.
but I'm
Yeah.
saying
Yeah.
it's just a graphical change and some sound changes.
And the
like,
game
with voice
systems were
acting.
updated. The leveling systems are modified for smoother progression. They redid like the interface. I think this is more involved.
Interface seems kind of the same.
Like this is like 4 years.
No, I didn't say it's a one button push and it's something they can. What I'm saying is now that this company, I guarantee, is going to use these same methods with some other Bethesda property.
Yes.
I think. Let's go back and do.
I saw Fallout 3
Yeah.
was getting one of these too.
Right.
Yeah. See, I could see that. Let's see an older Elder. Let's see Morrowind. I don't know.
Here's what they said though. This actually sounds great and it makes me feel good. But most of all, we never wanted to change the core. It's still a game from a previous era and it should feel like one.
And it does.
Yeah.
But not in a way where someone's going to play it and go, ew, I can't play this after Skyrim. It's just like, okay, that's going to take a minute. So, I don't know. Wrapped up, check this out. Whether or not you played Oblivion, if you haven't and you want to play it, it's worth Game Pass at least. Like, I don't know if go buy it, whatever, but come on. You can get a 99
It's $50 too, right?
Yeah, you can get a 99-cent trial. Like, experience one of the best RPGs ever and a really well done job, I think, on the remaster.
And just to touch base on that Sky Oblivion thing, I saw that the guys who were making that were saying that even though this is coming out, that they think it's cool that the remaster is coming out from the big studio and then also one from the fans. So I think it'll be cool too. I'm looking forward to playing it that way as well.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing like these old games like reimagined in a way. And I'd like to see this for even Nintendo properties, John. I would love to see redone versions of old Zeldas that we all loved or whatever.
Yeah.
I think that there's nothing wrong with recreating a game. I know they get a lot of shit. Like you said, you're over it because you kind of questioned this at the start. You're like, are we over this remaking games? I don't know.
I just feel like it's been happening a lot. We talk a lot about this the last few years.
We do, but what's wrong with them being an option?
Well, this one, after playing today, I'm like, yeah, this is how you do it. The game's so good. It's the content, the source material is so great to start with. A lot of stuff that gets remade, like that stupid Croc game I just played.
Yeah.
Such
that's
a deep game.
Some love and care went into this. Some time
hard to
went
believe
into
it
this.
could,
But yeah, anything else before we wrap that up? Feels good, looks good. It's Oblivion. Good job, Phil.
I think Phil did a great job here.
He did. So check that out. All right, let's take a quick break. Remember, if you want ad-free VGO, weekly bonus shows, and the entire back catalog of 20 years, head to videogameoutsiders.com, hit that red juicy button, as John would say, or join our Discord now because we have all the bonus shows, including an extra weekly podcast that we do in Discord.
That's right.
So do that.
All right, let's move on to the news. Now, there's big stuff happening out there, Michelle, in Nintendo land. I know you're excited.
Right. Yeah, I'm excited to hear how unhappy you were today. You said they were mishandling pre-orders.
Well, okay, so, and by the way, if you're not aware, pre-orders start on April 24th, which is, I think, technically tomorrow. Is that right? Because at midnight,
Okay.
12 a.m., that's tomorrow night, correct? The 24th, 12 a.m.?
But what's the problem here where if you pre-order through your Nintendo account?
Well, this is... Okay, so I thought I had some backdoor way to getting a Switch, right?
Okay.
And I'm like, I don't need to pay attention to all these pre-order announcements. Nintendo's going to take care of me finally because I signed up for this thing. And they said, if you're a subscriber, which I am, and if you played at least 50 hours in the last year, which I think I did, I actually started thinking about that. That's an hour a week. I don't play an hour a week of Switch consistently.
Oh,
right?
You're probably not eligible. That's why you didn't get slotted in.
Well, no one got slotted in because May 9th is when they're doing that, right? So April 24th, they're doing the pre-orders everywhere, like Walmart, Target, Best Buy, etc., not Amazon. And then the Nintendo store pre-orders are on May 9th. So that means I need to battle it out on April 24th with everyone else on all these websites.
And then if you don't get it, you get a second opportunity?
Potentially from Nintendo on May 9th. So I think that is mishandled because why would you...
You should be first and then
Yes.
people...
Why would you say, we're going to give preferential treatment to our subscribers and users that we verify,
right. And
we know you're...
the unwashed masses get it.
Yeah. Don't you think that's shit, Steve?
Well, and the only real specification you have to qualify for that Nintendo deal is just to have a account. You don't have to have the hours. The hours just make you more of a quote unquote priority.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Wait, is that true?
Absolutely true.
Oh, so
because I don't have anywhere near the hours of 50 hours, but I'm still going to put my name in the hat to see if I can get one.
But did you already do that?
No. I'm not in any worry. If I didn't and I can't, then I missed my window. It's fine.
Our game store guy, Kevin, here says that there will be plenty. Everyone who wants one will get one.
Well, that's what Nintendo said originally. And
that's a bold claim.
Well, I think they've been quietly building these things and shipping them over here.
Yeah.
Right? So
scalpers, if they buy all of them, they're going to be sitting on a bunch on eBay?
I guess so. They're going to be selling their Yeezys and their Switches too. And no one wants any of them.
Right.
That would be awesome.
I think this is going to be a gigantic fucking release. I really do. I think there's pent-up demand for this.
It's a new Nintendo console.
I know. I mean, it's been like 8 years. And I think the scene's going to be badass. I cannot fucking wait for it. And Mario Kart, whatever.
What are you so excited about?
Just because I want new hardware. It's exciting, Michelle. My dream for the console or for handhelds is I want bigger screens, right? And this screen is
Even
the
though
biggest screen
you have a TV
yet.
you drag outside.
I know, but when I do play in handheld, I just wanted a big screen on the thin device. This is the same thickness as the current Switch with a bigger screen, bigger than the current OLED, bigger than the Steam Deck. So I'm really looking forward to it. So I cannot wait. So I guess I'm going to try ordering tomorrow night at midnight. Right. I guess you can also go to GameStop. You're going to have to look into how that works, but you can go to GameStop, I think, at midnight to do a pre-order. And then I read that you have to put $300 down on the bundle at GameStop.
You were bitching to me also about the $600 bundles and the $100 Joy-Cons and everything. What's going on with is there a one people should be trying for and looking at? Like, should people do if they want one?
The one to get, in my opinion, is get the Mario Kart bundle. It's $500. You're paying essentially $50 for an $80 game. So that's the one to get. And also, I read, supposedly, on some box someone posted online, the retail box, that it comes with a cartridge and not just a digital code, which historically is not what Nintendo has done. So I don't know what to make of that.
Trade it in for a digital copy.
Trade it in for a digital copy?
Yeah, because you're going to lose it.
I never really lose those
John
cartridges.
buys 2 copies of everything, so he's going to be fine. He's got a backup.
Okay, so by the way, I have this is from Nintendo's website. These are the frequently asked questions. Okay.
Okay.
The first batch of invitations will go out starting May 8th from Nintendo. Okay, with additional batches of invitations sent periodically until purchasing on My Nintendo Store is open to everyone, which is the June 5th date, I believe. Initial invitation emails will be delivered on a first-come, first-served basis to eligible registrants who meet the priority criteria. Okay, maybe this is what you're talking about, Steve?
Yeah.
Right.
Invitees will have 72 hours from the time when the email is sent to complete their purchase. Here's the priority requirements as follows. You must have been the one who purchased any Nintendo Switch Online membership. You must have had any paid Switch Online membership for a minimum of 12 months, and you must have opted in to share gameplay data. I don't know if I've done that.
Oh. That's what I'm wondering, John. Are you going to get screwed because
and have at least 50 hours of total gameplay? Oh, I have that for the whole life of it, sure.
Okay. They just want to make sure it's not some old account, like some new account that's just botting. So you'll be fine.
Yeah, but I don't know if I ever shared gameplay data. I don't think I opted into that. Mm-hmm. That's shitty.
Well, according to Kevin, everybody's going to be able to get one. I guess. How could it be the biggest launch ever if everyone can get one? Because they have so many.
Because they made so many.
But there's so
of them,
many people who want them. Then, according to you, no, it's that not many people are going to want these things. They don't want them. They don't give a shit. Yeah, I think like the chatter was saying, they underestimate third party.
This is what I predict.
Wow,
in
if
June,
you want to play, want to play Mario Kart, if you want to play a mobile kart game, people will go buy it. But other than that, why are people running to buy this? It's not. Why would people? It's not. Why would people want to buy?
Go watch Austin's video.
And the Steam Deck.
He played
the
it,
guy that you said's a fucking moron and doesn't know what he's talking about and has fluff pieces. Let me talk to him. Why would somebody want this if they don't want to play Mario Kart right now? That's all I'm saying. There's no rush for people.
Donkey Kong comes out in July, so that's a big first party 3D game.
But that's not like right now, right? Like because they may have
in July. It's not far away. It's like a month after the release.
Very far away right now. It's April, so people aren't even thinking about it.
The console comes out in June.
Right.
And there are a lot of stupid bundles like on Best Buy's website where you're getting like the camera and the controller and all this shit for $800. Like that's shitty. That's predatory. Don't you think?
Yeah, it'll be big on Christmas time. I think that's when a lot of people will pick it up. And maybe by then, like, I don't know. To me, you have to launch with a new Zelda or Mario, but I guess Mario is the Mario Kart. It's just a lot of people in our community are
Mario Kart is the best-selling game on the Switch.
Sure.
So
kids,
it's not a slouch.
A lot of our listeners don't have like nostalgia for Mario Kart, right? They do for Mario and Zelda. And if they had launched with like something like that, if they had launched
Mario
with a
Kart
new Zelda
64,
game,
I have nostalgia for that shit.
Even Super Mario Kart.
Yeah, but Mario Kart 64 really did it for me when that came out.
So you think that this was a very good launch title because it's their biggest title, but you personally would have been excited
I personally am not like over the moon about Mario Kart. I will play it, but it's not my favorite of the current stuff,
Yeah,
I mean,
I still feel like
if there was a Mario Odyssey 2, that would be, oh my God.
Right, but Mario Kart's probably more popular at the end of the day.
Yeah.
It's been several years since we've had drunk Mario Kart races of 64 with me and my friends, but it's still a great franchise,
Right. So you think
I still don't think it's going to sell. It's not going to sell me a Switch 2, not on launch day, but like I said, OLED, I will.
Do you think the OLED will be ready by Christmas?
No.
Okay.
No. Fuck no.
Okay.
No.
All right.
That's probably 2 years down the road, at least, I bet.
Will they do another Switch 2 Lite?
That's interesting. I don't know.
Okay.
I mean,
but then you
wouldn't
have
with everything else.
You wouldn't get the mouse because the Joy-Cons don't come off. There's no dock.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, I bought how many DSs? I think 3. I had fat, slim, something light, whatever. So I think some people are kind of like holding off like you, Steve. They're like, well, which version of this Switch 2 do I want? And when do I need it? And so I think it'll be, like you say, all jokes aside, a big launch. But I do think there are some people holding out, and I get it. And yeah, there's kind of like, it's not like just
I don't think
answer.
there are. You act like there's like this wave of people declaring, I'm holding out.
Well, we have one on the show right now. All I'm saying is I
That's a wave? This is your sample size, Steve?
1 out of 3.
I think he represents
here.
I think he represents, more than that because I'm not getting one. I think he represents a voice that we're hearing here that, I'll hold off. Cliff in the chat is also saying the same thing. I'll hold off till the OLED. And so it'll be a big launch, but I think it'll be a wave now, a wave at Christmas, a wave when the OLED comes out. And yeah.
So I do want to say something too that is going to be interesting to see how this shakes out and how the PC handheld makers adapt to what Nintendo's doing. So Nintendo has confirmed that the Switch 2 can use a USB keyboard.
So why would they have to adapt? They already can.
I know, but the thing is, the Trojan horse here, I still think is this mouse, that it's like, it's built into the device, and it's like, you have a mouse anywhere you go.
Why would a handheld PCs, which have had mouse support since they came out,
I know, but this is like stealthily on the device. You just push a button and you suddenly have a mouse in your hand.
Well, see, the Switch 2 isn't a PC because it can only play Switch games. A PC can play all games. So when they
What does that mean?
Well, because he's saying it's a PC just because you can turn your Joy-Con sideways and use a mouse. Like,
I understand,
that's
but the
a
whole
gimmick
PC
nobody's going to use.
the whole PC handheld market exists because of the Switch, like it or not. So,
but what does that do with anything? They came and ate their lunch.
Because I think that this mouse thing, I think Nintendo realized maybe that, oh shit, we're competing with Steam Deck and the other PC makers now, right? We didn't intend this, but now we are.
Well, I mean, Cliff brings up a good point. Will kids be playing mouse and keyboard Fortnite? Will they be plugging the Switch in with a keyboard and a mouse and mouse and keyboard Fortnite at whatever?
And also, isn't that technically cheating somehow?
If they have auto aim on because it's a Switch, and
because they make devices that spoof the controller. Like
you can, well, it is a controller. It's your Joy-Con, and now it's being used.
I know,
as a mouse.
Okay, so if you pull out the mouse, do you lose auto aim on Fortnite and other games?
But how do they know it's not a mouse if you just turn it sideways?
I know this is an interesting question, isn't it? Like,
I don't know. I feel like you're at a disadvantage on a Switch anyway.
And I read too that it was an article on Wired today. I talked about this on the John Show. That they tried the mouse for several hours and it made their hand hurt.
Well, you can tell by the picture. People
it's
are
not ergonomic at all.
Well, there could be a casing.
That
and
can't be comfortable.
What about the
What's
Nintendo
that?
mouse and the Nintendo keyboard?
The mouse house. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, not the mouse house. Just
the
a
mouse.
Nintendo mouse. Do you think they'd ever sell one? A small little...
It's going to be a cardboard mouse. It's going to cost $70.
You have to build it.
Build.
Yeah. And then it comes with all these mini games using whatever. I mean, listen, Nintendo did a mouse before on Super Nintendo. I still think I'm just predicting right now, Mario Paint has to come back somehow with this mouse. But I'd like to see it. What's that?
Will it emulate the ball in the old mouses underneath?
Why?
Is that what the rumble, the 3D rumble, will emulate that old ball?
Like friction?
Yeah.
I don't know.
So
like the haptic feedback.
So what you read, John, is that not just that there's a USB port or whatever, that it will take keyboard input. That's what you read?
Yeah. This is from GamerRanks. Yeah. Nintendo confirms Switch 2 can use USB keyboards on their website.
Interesting. So it's going to take
Probably
WASD
Bluetooth.
movement input?
Well, that's what we were saying, Michelle, like a few weeks ago when we found out about the mouse. And I said they should make a little WASD thing, like just a little 9
right, but
key
you need more
keyboard.
buttons than that.
Well, I mean, for Metroid Prime, you might not, right?
Right. Yeah, that's interesting. We'll see where they go with that. Because they do love selling peripherals or whatever.
They do.
Okay, so what else is going on out there in the news? You want to talk about Toys R Us? Live action movie in the works. What?
Yeah, I want to talk about this for a couple reasons.
Okay.
You saw like the Pop-Tarts movie with Jerry Seinfeld?
I didn't. No, I never watched it.
Okay. So I'm wondering if it's like this, whatever. They're making a movie about Toys R Us. Like
From the Sonic
Toys.
people, Story Kitchen.
Yes,
Sonic
but
Kitchen,
this is what's interesting to me. Yeah, the Toys R Us movie is interesting to me because I'll probably watch it. But they also said that this company is also developing Just Cause, a movie based on the video game Just Cause.
Well, yeah. We just talked about that in Netflix Outside or something to help video games are the
Streets of Rage
for
Toe Jam and Earl for Amazon
movies and TVs. Yeah,
MGM Studio, like Toe Jam and Earl. What? Like,
I mean, that was big at the time, but nobody under 30 knows
kids
what it
know
is.
that.
Yeah,
and then
but
Runer,
kids don't matter.
What is
who's
Runer?
watching this shit? Old people and their kids.
Yeah,
it's all a bunch of 35-year-old dads with their kids watching this shit, right? I mean, it's they're making
What's
it for
Runer? I don't know what that.
Runer?
Oh, that game. That's getting a movie. I played this.
Toys R Us is a cultural touchstone that continues impacting the child in all of us today.
I mean, listen, my childhood, Toys R Us was pretty special. My first paycheck ever in life, my mom picked me up. We went to Toys R Us to buy an NES. So
Toys R Us was a big deal for me too. Every week I'd get to pick out a new Barbie.
Kids.
Yep.
Yes.
Every week I'd get a new Barbie. Every month I'd get a new Cabbage Patch. I had like 50 of them on my bed. So I'm not knocking Toys R Us.
Yeah.
But I just don't. What is the movie going to be about?
All of that. Right?
Kids just rushing there and everything. Okay.
I remember
and
as a
grabbing
kid.
the little slip to go get your
Oh,
video game.
yeah, that was awesome.
God.
Yeah,
Yep.
you'd go there, look at the consoles behind glass, and they had those little paper tags, and
Yep.
and I would just take the tag and walk around with it.
It's such a happy, fun place. Where do kids
didn't
go
have the
now
money.
when they want to happy fun? Like walking in there, you just felt like so happy. What do kids do now? Or I guess it's a game. It's not GameStop. GameStop never gave me that feeling.
GameStop's a depressing mess.
I know, but GameStop never gave me that joy that walking into a Toys R Us did. It was
think initially the idea of GameStop to me was fucking amazing.
Sure.
But they destroyed it. Like now it's
Funko Pops and
Funko Pops and ramen T-shirts. Like it's just stupid.
Yeah.
Like
digital gaming killed them.
True.
Yeah, I know, but they didn't.
No reason to go there.
They missed opportunities though. Like they could have became like a retro. I know they're trying to do
into
that.
Retro helps, yeah.
But they're barely doing it. They're half-assing it, and they have like flagship stores that have all the NES games.
They should have gotten on top and ahead of the digital stuff then with finding some way to rent digital, like some kind of Steam account that you
I think they thought they were doing that by getting
illegal?
ramen T-shirts.
Yeah, that's true. We're ahead of the game, Jim. We got ramen T-shirts.
Right.
We're gonna be fine.
The only time I ever go in there is, I've said this before, like during Christmas to find stocking stuffers, like blind boxes of fucking little Nintendo characters and shit.
So I saw this tweet, speaking of Nintendo, from Cheap Ass Gamer. Prices for Street Fighter 6 and Zelda Amiibo pre-orders that go live on April 24th had their prices go up, whatever. But they're saying it's $40 now for Amiibos, and they thought over there at Cheap Ass Gamer it was too pricey, too much. What's your stance on Amiibos? Okay.
I've given up on Amiibos. I have Amiibos. I'm not proud of my Amiibo collection.
You sent me a Zelda Amiibo once. I still have it somewhere.
Yeah,
maybe.
I have Amiibos. I have an Amiibo carrying case. It's a yellow question block vinyl with a zipper. It has all my Amiibos.
I do
my
love
little collection.
the idea of a game coming with like a figure that can interact with the game. And like, is Switch 2 doing anything new with Amiibos, or just the same? Probably the same thing. That's
I don't know.
working.
Like the Amiibos were pretty useful in Breath of the Wild. I used them quite a bit.
Cheat. Yeah, I remember.
Well, to get like food and stuff, like you scan an Amiibo and food would fall out of the sky.
Yeah.
I do have the Link Amiibo from Tears of the Kingdom, which my daughter bought me like for Christmas or something. I never opened it because I stopped playing the game, so I'm gonna revisit it. But yeah, I mean, $40.
You're buying Zelda again, aren't you, to not play it?
I don't think I need to buy it again. I still have the cart, right? I just need to get the upgrade.
Buy the upgrade.
Well, the upgrade should come with your Nintendo
subscription,
sub, right? Okay.
Yeah, but I do think like the 40. So Nintendo said with the tariff, they're not going to raise the price of the Switch 2, but they are going to raise the price of everything else, like the controller and the Amiibos and the peripherals.
Joy-Cons are $100, and people are upset about that. Like, but they want to get the console in people's hands, which makes sense, and then they'll buy it all.
But $40 for a little figurine,
it's a bit much. They should be $15.
That's stupid. That really is.
It'd be cool if there was like deluxe edition of their games and it came with the Amiibo or something. Like I do like the idea though of having a physical figure like that with Nintendo stuff. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Twilight Princess came with an Amiibo, if I remember right.
Yeah, that I think is good. So hopefully they continue on with it with Switch 2. But
yeah, Twilight Princess on the Wii U came with an Amiibo. I bought that. I have that.
Nintendo quietly removes the mention of VRR support from some Switch 2 websites. Rumor is it will not be a screen that supports VRR at launch. Variable
refresh rate.
Yeah. So maybe they'll add
the Switch's screen itself won't support that?
Could
what
be.
Does that
It
mean?
could be that's in the
how does that
OLED,
impact
or they have
us?
to unlock. It impacts you that you won't have one of the features that people were saying it's going to have, but smooth, whatever. It may not be turned on in some games. I don't really know what they mean by that. Is that their version of G-Sync?
But Michelle, if it's a 120 hertz screen, and it can't change to another refresh, is that positive or negative?
No, it's a bad thing if they remove it, but nobody knows what it really means.
Yeah,
they're in the process of removing it from all of their stuff right now. So I mean, it says it will still. It's unclear why Nintendo has made the changes. They think that VRR support may not be available at launch. However, the Switch 2 in handheld looks like it will still offer VRR thanks to G-Sync, which will ensure ultra-smooth, tear-free gameplay. So it's the game tech itself may not be... Remember Xbox said they were going to do like variable like stuff and whatever. Like there's two types of things. One's the screen technology that looks like it's still going to be there, but whether it'll be switched on for all the games and... be working as intended, nobody really knows right now. They're saying Nintendo's like removing stuff from their website.
So people are rushing to sell their Xbox Series X right now to GameStop.
Get good deal.
Well, because they're offering up to, and this is lowbrow, $420.69 in trade credit.
Oh my God.
What?
For an Xbox?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's a lot. Are you sure?
But the number is stupid and juvenile.
Well, $420.69. So what? But why are you getting that much for an Xbox? They're not worth how much? Oh, Kevin, because it says because of the price increase coming to the Xbox.
Yeah.
That's why.
So the trading credit it only goes through the April 26th. And I do predict that a lot of PlayStations are going to be traded in now since Oblivion came out and the Switch 2.
They
because
can play, but
the
they can
console's
play
not doing
Oblivion on the
anything for
PlayStation.
anybody.
Oh,
it's not
really?
doing
Where are you
anything
going to
for
play
anyone.
Grand Theft Auto, John? Are you playing on Xbox or PlayStation Pro or PlayStation? Like, what are you? Where are you getting
Just
that?
to spite you, I'm going to play it on Xbox.
You're not gonna, because you said you were going to pick up a Pro. Are you going
I
to?
might. I just don't see any compelling reason right now because I literally turn the PlayStation on and I never want to play anything I see. Not always,
all you do
but
is play
most times.
COD. Yeah, that's true. This is more Nintendo stuff, but people were angry on Twitter for a day about this. I'm at the London Switch 2 hands-on experience today, and I heard something that stood out. 2 of the staff of the DragX Drive booth mentioned they've been told to refer to these as vehicles and not wheelchairs. So we have a correction to make. We were calling this wheelchair basketball. It's now Nintendo reps have been told that these are not wheelchairs.
Right. We have a guy in a chair with wheels on it. I don't know. What is that?
You can't call it a wheelchair drive.
And you
It's
can't
a
use your
vehicle.
legs.
Right.
Right.
I don't
There's
know
no
what's going on
pedals.
there.
There's no
Yeah.
gas motor.
Right.
You use your hands to move the wheels.
Maybe it doesn't sound as cool.
That must
I don't
be
know
a
what's going
car.
on. But now disabled people were angry. I don't know what's going on with that. But DragX Drive, do you think that looks fun? Because
No, it looks stupid.
No.
yeah, that
It
doesn't
looks like a
look
tech
good to me.
demo. That's all it is. Nintendo does this shit all the time. They come out with
Okay.
some new feature, a microphone, a camera, whatever, and they release a game like this, which is nothing more than a tech demo, hoping that everyone's going to jump on board and start making mouse games, right? Mm-hmm. Like they're like the first ones. Like here, developers, look, this is how you could use the mice, right? And they do it with a wheelchair.
Yeah, I guess of all the things. Also, PlayStation Plus pricing going up in Canada only, so it's going to be $110. That's for a year. We'll have to talk to Bradford when he's back on for Doom to see if he's upset about this because he comes down pretty hard on Xbox and Nintendo, but never much on PlayStation.
Well, he's kind of an Xbox fanboy now.
I don't think he is though. I think he's still a Sony
Really?
fanboy at heart. Yeah, I think so. What else is
I
going
cannot
out there?
believe how much Oblivion shit's going on out there. Like people
I
are
know. And
losing
speaking of
their mind over this.
Xbox, now, Stevie, do you have an Xbox? You said you just have a PC Game Pass, and like, how do you feel about your libraries? And like, are you like John, where you play things on both, or?
I don't have an Xbox. I have just
Okay.
my PC and I have a PlayStation and a Switch. I mostly play my PC. If I do anything on my PlayStation, it's going to be the show or something that will come out on PC that I can't wait for.
Okay.
Do you like the
And-
show this year?
It's very much the same as all the other ones, but I mean,
Right.
like,
Uh-huh.
look, that's why you buy it.
I know.
If they changed it too much, we'd all bitch. If they don't change it, we all bitch.
Right.
Everybody just bitches.
That's what's
But
fun to do.
it's fun.
Yeah, I know.
It gets me 3-4 months of entertainment, and then I move on.
Right. I feel like I don't follow baseball like I used to, so a lot of the players don't mean anything to me. The new ones, you know. Obviously, the nostalgia stuff I love. You know, if I get a Don Mattingly or whatever, you know, I don't even.
And I just do road to the show, and I
Yeah.
pull packs, and I sell whatever diamond players I get to buy gear for my creative player, and that's
Right.
it.
Yeah.
I don't even know how to play the 9-player baseball game.
You don't. You do road to the show.
Yeah, that's it. That's all I do.
I do love that though. Like just like what position do you play?
I'll do usually a shortstop for a couple of years, and then I'll do a pitcher for a couple of years, and then I'm usually kind of burnt out.
Yeah.
So you had a 360,
I love the Diamond
though, right?
Dynasty
'Cause you were
stuff
saying
though.
you wanted your library like into Game Pass from the
I
360,
had one.
Okay.
Like I don't have any Xbox anymore, but like when Xbox One came out, they were making the big deal about it being a Windows system and blah blah blah.
Yep.
And it was a locked system. So if it's a locked system, I've always wondered why they just don't have an app that I can double click on my PC that will launch Xbox, kind of like Big Picture does for Steam, and allow me to access all the Xbox games that I've purchased over the years in my library. Because Game Pass, I can get to some of them, and I know with Ultimate you can get to some as well. But it'd be cool if I could just take my old spinning 4 terabyte hard drive, plug it into my computer with all my downloaded games in it, double click on it, and go.
But you're talking about launching a console game on the PC.
They'd have to go back and rework it, and they probably would. And I think that is their plan. They're kind of retroactively going back and changing some of those things, but I think that's their plan going forward. Like when that handheld releases, and now this ecosystem is truly one, but maybe retroactively going back to do it, like John, like you're saying, is probably just a time thing, you know?
I always just thought of it how you always talk about, I'll pay you $300 for a virtual
just let me
Switch.
Play your Nintendo games if you want to be dicks, you know? Like
right.
Yeah.
Same thing.
I think that's a work in progress, though, because
Yeah.
Microsoft now is releasing all their first-party titles on PC and Xbox, right? So,
Right.
And I think all of them, especially the first party, are
I don't
play
think you're
anywhere.
ever going to lose your library again on Xbox. I don't think it's going to happen.
Going forward.
Yeah.
But Microsoft's done a good job too, though. Like I bought like Crimson Skies at a flea market, the original Xbox, and I popped that shit in my Xbox One maybe or Series X, and the game played. Like it downloaded a new file. It didn't run it off the disc,
Right.
Like
No,
so
they do it. They do it the best out of everyone. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Like I don't really have any complaints about it. That would be if
It's
I could
probably
have my
doable,
one way to change it.
It's not defying the laws of what's possible, but I bet they'd have to go back and do it, and there's probably just not enough reason to.
They would definitely have to do that.
Yeah,
like
they
it's,
have to go
it's
back
not
and
designed to run on Windows,
right?
But I mean, the Xbox is some flavor of Windows, but it's some fork. It's a DirectX machine, so it has some of the same
stuff
DNA
that would need to be modded to work on new.
But it's a weird fork, I think, of Windows.
Yeah. Now, speaking of that, John, you were saying there's still all this shit going on.
Sorry,
with Oblivion.
Steve. What?
No, I was just going to say I've kind of moved on anyway. Most of the stuff that I owned on my Xbox, I've just repurchased on Steam anyway, so I kind of have it all anyway.
Remastering it all anyway. I bet they're going to remaster it all, so you'll be fine. Like with the Oblivion thing, and John, you were just saying like there's still a lot of buzz right now out there. It's up to 182,000 concurrent on Steam, 80% positive reviews, so it's getting well received, and I think it's only going to get more buzz as the night goes on. Or whatever, so that's good for Microsoft. They're having a week. Let's let them have a week, guys. They got Clair Obscur. They got Oblivion.
I know.
It's a good.
Now, did you see the Paul Rudd commercial, Michelle?
I heard they brought him back. Yep, I think somebody posted it. Kevin posted it in our Discord. How'd you feel about that?
Well,
Nintendo
so first I
back,
saw Nintendo they re-released or reposted or whatever you want to say the original '90s Super Nintendo commercial with I guess at the time an unknown Paul Rudd playing like a Gen X hipster. In 1991.
Right.
And he's in some weird futuristic stage of a giant TV playing Super Nintendo, and we're all supposed to be excited. And so they recreated that video for the Switch 2, and Paul is wearing his 90s
They went a little crazy
Gen
with
X
his hair,
outfit.
though. I don't know.
I know. He looked a little stupid.
The hair looked weird, but Paul still looks good. He looks the same.
He looks the same.
It was
with
nice
that kind of Friends haircut,
Yeah, that was good. That was a good Nintendo move, just to kind of bring back that. I like that better than the rooftop parties and like the fake
so
weird
dumb.
Disney faced people. Like those weird, like anytime you watch a Switch presentation, they don't seem human. And I'm not talking about the Japanese
the thing is,
people. I'm loved the American people.
I love the Japanese treehouse. When the Japanese guys, the 3 Japanese guys with the 3 like ill-fitting jackets of different colors, they look like they're hostages, and I love it. I love that.
Yeah.
It's so like dystopian and weird. Like that Switch
and they refuse to like want to speak English, like or learn English, like to present here. So there's like always like people doing
There's
and
something.
It's, kind of
like,
weird,
where
but cool.
are you? Are you guys on an island and there's guys with guns in front behind the camera?
Yeah,
like
it's always a little off in a weird way.
And the coats don't fit them right. You could tell they have like their street clothes underneath a blazer that just doesn't work with the street clothes.
Well, nobody's going to dress. I mean, you love Phil's outfit, so he's going to win as far as best dressed.
Well, Phil's got
heads,
like dad jeans. He's got the whole thing going on. It's great.
He's got a beaten leather jacket. What other news is going out there, Steve? Is there anything you wanted to? I mean, now's your time. You've been listening since the beginning. Anything you want to bring up or a bone to pick with us about something? Because I often hear that from people. Like I listen to the show and I yell back at it with you guys. Like, what? Tell us about your favorite moments or anything.
I mean, I don't know. I go back to all the holiday shows and all that other stuff that you guys have done forever. the just the synergy between you guys, the way you guys interact has always just kept me coming back. So I don't know. I don't really have a favorite show. I know that there was some times when you were gone that they were a little bit iffy.
I've heard that.
But other than that, they were okay.
I don't know what happened during those years, but people
kept it going.
People told me they were unlistenable.
You don't want to know the.
I said, "Oh, thank you." Look at my hair. I think John was off. I think without me there, John was off.
Yeah,
and that was what
I was broken.
Yeah, he was a broken man. He didn't know
the wheels.
to do.
The wheels didn't stay on as well. That's for sure.
No, because you don't know how much work it is to keep this guy going. Like just to get through a show. Like whoever else was on the show couldn't take that on. And if Matt McCarthy, if he was on, is Matt going to come on and guest with us sometime soon, John? I think he'll be on again.
Sure,
your lover. But
we'll do a Call of Duty episode.
Yeah, it just becomes a bro love fest. John needs to be yelled at, or he's just out of control. He does. But yeah, no, that's good, Steve. I'm glad that you've been enjoying it.
Yeah, thanks for listening all this time.
You've been listening for all that time. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's a good week. I'm excited to play more Oblivion.
I'm excited.
And Claire Obscura this
Here's
week.
a new
Let's
story,
do
by
a
the way.
roundtable next week, John. I'm reminding you while I have you. Play that game, okay?
Yeah, Cyberpunk is going to be the first game to take full advantage of DLSS on the Switch too.
Oh my God. This is great.
Is that
Let's pat
6
them
years
on
old
the
now?
back. Yeah, for an old game with old tech.
Well, they got Jensen's juice in this thing. So
Oh my God.
what?
You are just too in love and too excited for this. I'm sorry.
I am. I actually really am. I cannot fucking wait.
Like are you going to finish Skyrim?
No.
I don't know. I'll go back
Steve's
to
like,
it.
no, I've been listening 20 years. No, he's not going to. Yeah. But like, you're all excited about it. You're bringing it but you're not going to go play Cyberpunk. Anything. Like you're saying
Cyberpunk.
Well, you said
I
Cyberpunk
finished
on Switch
Cyberpunk.
too.
What are you talking
You
about?
didn't finish Phantom Liberty.
I finished Cyberpunk,
You
though.
said it was your favorite game of all time. You didn't finish the DLC. Is all I'm saying. Like it's a perfect
well,
opportunity.
the
John,
DLC
deck
was a
mode.
different story, but I finished the main Cyberpunk campaign.
Okay.
I loved that fucking game.
So you think a lot of people with Switch 2 will be playing it for the first time?
Yeah, I know. So
Probably.
I mean, this is kind of like what they do, right? They just keep re-releasing Witcher and Cyberpunk and everything, right? Like CD Projekt. I mean, they did that with Skyrim. I'm sure Skyrim is coming to the Switch too.
Claire
Also.
Obscura publisher compares its game in Oblivion releasing the same week as Barbenheimer. Yeah, people were wondering if Phil fucked them over. It was supposed to be their big RPG
Barbenheimer?
week. Yeah, like Barbieheimer, like Oppenheimer
What's
and Barbie
that?
movie. You never heard that?
No.
When Barbie and Oppenheimer came out the same week?
Oh.
And it was like the biggest week in movies? Yeah.
That's
what
kind
they're
of two really different audiences, isn't it?
Not necessarily.
Oppenheimer and Barbie? You think like
Barbie-
a 7-year-old girl wants to go learn about how a nuclear
Barbie
bomb
wasn't
was
just
made?
for 7-year-old girls, unfortunately. And I think
Yeah, I know.
you don't have to be a dude to like Oppenheimer. I like the movie.
Oppenheimer's great.
Yeah, it was a good movie. I don't know. I don't see any other news. So unless you guys
All
got
right, let's get
anything.
out of here.
Let's get out of here. I've got a lot of games to play, and it is a big week, and congrats, Phil and Xbox. Yes, we do still love Xbox here at VGO, even though we give them shit sometimes. So if you want to play any of these games, and if you want to win Mandragoria Whispers of the Witch Tree, there's people playing them all in our Discord, and we're giving away a copy. So head on down to videogameoutsiders.com. Check that giveaways channel. You get extra entries if you support us on the app or in our Discord. You get weekly bonus shows, the whole 20-year back catalog, and ad-free VGO. Thank you to the live chatters. I think that's it.
All right, guys, thanks for listening, subbing, all that shit.
Oh,
Video
Steve,
Game
wait.
Outsiders
Do you want to
out.
share
Steve,
anything,
thank you.
Steve, where people can find you.
Sorry.
Or what you're
Yeah.
doing?
No. Just
That's my fault for forgetting.
No, you're good. I'm Dumpy423 on Steam and Epic and all that good stuff. And if you want to catch my streams, I am Stoned Old Gaming on Twitch and on YouTube.
All right,
There you
good.
go.
And
Stoned
pop some of
Old
those in our
Gaming.
Discord and self-promo so people can check you out. So check Steve out. It was a
Will
good
do.
time. I think that's it.
All right, guys, thanks again. We'll see you very soon. Video Game Outsiders out.
It's 3 a.m. The bars are closed, but we don't care. We've got somewhere to go when it's after hours. The lights are low, the air hangs hot. Everybody's good to go when the boys are left. The girls are right. Let's mix things 'cause it's way too soon for this night to end. So let's tear it down and start once again. It's 3 a.m. It's 3 a.m. No one tells us that we're too loud. We don't care, we turn it up anyhow. No one cares if we don't come home. We don't care. No one. When all your friends have gone to bed, put